damn barbecue.
Oh, my God.
Bye, chica.
Did you just wink at him?
I did wink at him because he's my bitch now.
Uh-oh.
All right, salute. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, throwing me some love. I appreciate all the new subscribers, and let's go ahead and jump right into the topic. Man, I've got bad news for the people back home. Bad news for the people back in America, and I'm talking about, like, for people I know, people I'm close to, people I love, people I miss, close people, family members, friends, things like that. And this might, like, pertain to you if you decide to come over here and leave everything behind. Or maybe you have already done that and you've moved over here and you can completely identify in what I'm saying. And this is what I want to say. I've got bad news for everybody back home in America. Listen, I can't come. It is too far away. It is too freaking far. It is too expensive. It's too excruciating. It's too much like emotional damage on the human body to go through that much jet lag to travel back to the States. For how long? You know, anyone that's followed me knows I just recently went to America. I spent a total of 5, maybe 6 days away from Thailand before I returned. And people say, well, how did you do that? Yeah, it was shitty when I got there, but coming back, it kind of reset me back to what I was already at. If you will, like I cut my jet lag in half by coming back to what I was already accustomed to. It is that far away. It is that far away. And I'm talking about just to the West Coast. I'm talking about like San Francisco, California, like Seattle, up through, you know, that corridor. Or even like maybe Denver or some shit like that, or Salt Lake City, Phoenix. But that's about as far as it goes. Like anything beyond that to me is out of reach. And this is why I say I got bad news for you guys. When I look up online and I say, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Where do I want to travel? Like as a person who lives here in Thailand, like centered in Thailand, Southeast Asia, where do I want to travel? And man, a multitude of options pop up. Number one is Philippines. You know, I have yet to see, not to mention like China, parts of China, and I'm not talking about just the cities and stuff. People are so like short-sighted when they think of like where to travel. You know, they listen to what the media tells them and they just like they tune it out, they cross it off their checklist immediately before even giving it a second thought. I'm gonna tell you this, everything I've heard on the media is bullshit about anything. I'm not saying it's not like true, like some of the shit don't happen, but man, come on, dude. It's ridiculous. Like none of you sits back and says, hey, what if they're telling us like bullshit, you know? What if they're doing this like to keep us in our cage, if you will? You do the math with that one. That ain't for me to decide. That's for you to decide. But like really, the bad news about people in America is like when I'm sitting here in Thailand and I'm planning out my next adventure, I'm thinking of countries I've never been to, places I've never seen, the Himalayas, you know, even like Dubai. I can fly to Dubai from Bangkok. I think it's like a 7-hour flight, maybe 8, depending on which way you go. From Bangkok, 8-hour flight to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, any country in the Middle East. You can go to Turkey, same, maybe 9 hours, maybe 10 hours, I think, from Bangkok to Istanbul, Turkey. I can go to Eastern Europe. I can go to, number one is New Zealand. I am within the vicinity of actually traveling to New Zealand for the first time in my freaking life and being able to afford it. To look at a round trip, you know, a 9-hour flight connecting through Sydney. Not too bad. Maybe Singapore, Sydney, whatever, but not that bad. I'm actually in the area that puts me in touch with other things. The next I want to talk about is freaking Japan. I've always wanted to see Japan. Japan, especially in like May season when you still have snow on the mountains, but everything's warmed up. Like all the flowers are blooming or like have already bloomed. So you have green, but you have snow on the tops, like Mount Fiji and all that shit. I've always wanted to see Japan. Guys, this is my entire point. It opens up different realms and like perspectives that put you completely out of alignment with the people that you left behind, unfortunately. And this is good and bad in a way. This is like a two-edged sword. No, like the good positive thing is it puts you in the region where you can have access to these places you've always wanted to visit. Like to see these things and experience the culture, which is, listen, you can't put a price on this, in my opinion. This is something no one back home would ever understand, but you had the balls to make the trip and the journey to this side of the planet and step in something new. This is amazing. This is like why I find it hard to even identify with the people back home. And this is nothing against them. This is just saying that being here has changed how I feel, how I like see things, how I perceive things. The respect, the culture, everything. Like it changes you completely to where you can't even identify with the people that like back home, if you will. Especially if you spend enough time in Asia, Southeast Asia or whatever, you know. But it puts, like when I'm starting to think about like what trip I want to take, what trip can I take, what is available to me, this is where my mind like goes plow. I can go to Australia, I can go to Tasmania, I can go to freaking New Zealand, I can go to Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, like Bali, Lombok, all that stuff. I can go even further south if I want. I can even fly to Maldives. Maldives is like a 4-hour flight from here. So there's things like this that really like open up. Like basically it puts you in a whole new region of options. But it will change your options and cut off other options at the same time. But you can't have doubts about yourself when it comes to this. That's why it's a two-edged sword, because the backside of the sword is that it puts you out of reach from what you left behind. And this is no disrespect or bash, because my heart, my feelings go out, you know, to my family, my friends, you know, back home in America, if you will. But ask yourself one question. Would they fly here for your wedding? Let's say you come over here and you possibly meet a girl and you decide to tie the knot and get married. Would they fly here to your wedding? Would they? Ask yourself that one simple question. And 9 times out of 10, this is going to hurt you. The answer is no. So realizing that you have nothing in common with the things you've left behind. This is why everything does change. But as doors close, as you close doors, new doors open up. And you can't be afraid of this stuff, guys. You cannot be afraid of this. This is exactly like whatever is pulling you and drawing you right now. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, you know, along the lines of, hey, I've had enough. Maybe I could do something. You're going to be smart. Please, like, be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't be a sucker. And you want to like travel for a bit and see the world, you come over here. This is what I'm saying. It opens up so many different like options and like availabilities that were unavailable to you from being in, like, especially in America, so far away. It is so far away. I literally can tell you this. I flew there, flew back in 6 days, there and back. Yeah, my mind's a little bit messed up. I'm happy to be back, but I will say that it is far. It's too far. It's not worth the price. It's not worth the cost. Like, America's beautiful. It's something to see. It is magnificent. America is one of the most beautiful countries on the planet. I don't give a damn what anyone says. It is absolutely beautiful in so many ways. It has every fucking resource. It has some of the most good and resourceful people. All cultural differences that, like, many people like agree on more than they want to admit. But yeah, there's divisions and stuff like that. But listen, America is an absolutely beautiful and blessed country that is being like pissed down the sewer. It's being pissed down the sewer. And from my perspective, being here in Thailand, it is so far away, it's not worth paying that amount of money to travel that far to see what I can see within an 8-hour flight of where I'm at right now. So when I'm thinking vacations, or I'm thinking of seeing new things, meeting new people, new experiences, I'm thinking more regionally than people want to admit. Like people, even back home in America, think regionally. Like I can fly to Cancun from Atlanta. It's a 2-hour flight. You're in another country. Yay. Vacation? Yes. Cancun is awesome. I get it. But for me, I'm thinking, you know, like Da Nang, Vietnam. You know, I'm thinking maybe Cambodia, or maybe Philippines. I'm thinking, you know, things that are regional to here, places that are like within a 3 or 4 hour flight from where I'm at right now. I am not thinking about that long ass 27, 32 hour flight back home, if you will, total. It's not one flight. You can get shorter flights, but it's expensive. You can actually get I can get a flight right now from where I'm at here in Chiang Mai, Thailand to Atlanta, Georgia, right now, with one layover in Korea. It is 21 hours and 55 minutes, but it's $2,000 for one way, for one person. So I can pay to get that type of flight. It's a 6-hour flight to Korea, and from there it's 14 to Atlanta. And then coming back from Atlanta through Korea, just double the price, double the time as well, because the time, like, you lose time flying back to the west, if you will. So with that said, like, it is bad news for people back home. Once you've come here, it is so fucking hard to connect and to maintain those things. Now, I'm not gonna say I don't maintain and have some like connections with the people back home, but I'm honestly on a 12-hour difference. 12 hours, like literally right now it's 12 hours the opposite yesterday, right now back home where I came from, in Atlanta right now at this moment. It's 12 hours prior to right now. It's crazy. Like weekend stuff, like when I even like booking tickets, it really messes you up, like being like ahead of time kind of, but behind, if you will. But guys, look, it will isolate you from what you're walking away from. If you're planning on or making, like, thinking about the decision to come here, I'm not gonna like tell you don't do it. It is 100% worth it, because 90% of these people would talk you right out of what you want to do and what you already have in your heart. It is a wonderful experience. It puts you in a whole nother perspective, a whole nother world, outside of the world that people will even understand. Like 90% of my stories I can't even talk about to my friends or family back home. I can't post these things live or on like social media and stuff, because it's just different. People would judge. People don't want to be posted here as well. It's just it's unreal. It's hard to explain. But to those people that would like misconstrue what I just said, you know, whatever. You're not the one here. You're not the one that's living here. You don't understand. You want to judge? Whatever. You want to throw like rocks? Good. I'll take it. But anyway, with that said, I love you guys for real. But when you make the decision to leave, you need to understand this. You really are leaving. There is no looking back. There isn't. Is it worth it? To me, yes. But you have to have the fortitude within yourself to understand the magnitude of the decision you're making. You are walking away from everything. Everything. Everyone. It's going to change everything. Is this a good thing? Yes. The people that are down for you will stay in touch. I still have people back home that I stay in touch with, but very few. Don't worry about that. If you feel drawn and led to do it, go with your heart, go with your gut, and do it. But understand, new doors will open up when doors close. I love y'all. Throw me some love on this video. Salute for being here. I'm signing out. Good night, y'all.